The Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève, the GPHG for short, considered the Oscars of the watchmaking industry, is celebrating its 20th anniversary. To mark the occasion, Geneva's Rat Museum is showing a retrospective of the watches that have won the Grand Prix de l'Aiguille d'Or, the most coveted prize on the awards list since 2001. The 84 currently nominated watches will also be presented. The exhibition is open until the 14th of November.
Behind each of these watches, there's a world of tradition, art and outstanding technology. Their fabrication often takes years. Let's find out how these little masterpieces are created.
In Le Sentier, a village in the heart of the Swiss region of Jura, is the Bulgari Watchmaking Workshop. The brand designs, develops and produces in-house all the essential parts of its creations. This is where the watch movements are being made. The different components are then assembled in Neuchâtel. Craftsmanship and top technical solutions are brought together from the very start of a new project in order to define fabrication plans.
We establish specifications through a feasibility study where we try to review all the difficulties of the project, the deadlines, the costs. The time needed for development depends on the complexity. There are very simple functions like the display of moon phases or calendar watches, which can take up to 6 months to a year, and more complicated functions like the development of a clock chime or a minute repeater, which can take up to 4 to 5 years.
At the Van Cleef & Arpels manufacturing site in Meyrin, Switzerland, the creative process unfolds using an approach called the poetry of time. Beauty and dreams are at the heart of watchmaking work, which starts with a story, an emotion that has to be translated visually and mechanically.
We consider watches like paintings or operas. We're delighted by what's happening on stage, and technique is always part of that. You never see cables hanging in a theatre, and that's the same for us. Our techniques always help to tell the story. It's very important to find the right compromise between what's technically feasible and how we can integrate our crafts. The golden hands that produce the dials, the cases, and the movements that we make. We have projects that can take up to 3, 4, 5, or even 10 years because we want to find the perfect compromise and create a watch that is truly a piece of art to us.
As well as the Aiguille d'Or, the first prize for Best Watch, 18 other pieces are awarded for specific features in various different categories.
What are the criteria behind the selection of these jewels of craftsmanship and design? Nick Fulks, president of the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie jury, has the answers.
It's very interesting the way that they are selected. I mean, obviously the brands propose, but then from these list of proposed brands, there is the institution of the Academy. So you have this caucus of 500 or so people who give their opinions. And then the final jury is composed of 30 people or so, taken half by ballot, so half just by random, and then half are selected by me in conjunction with the organization. So what you get is a very fair and different and a globally different sense of opinions that will judge on all sorts of criteria.
How innovation is influencing a sector traditionally associated with craft skills of watchmakers?
I think some of the brands take the best of the contemporary machinery, whether it's computer-aided design or milling machines, that will accomplish things to tolerances that were impossible to achieve in all but the most expensive watches of even 30 or 40 years ago.
It's almost time for the GPHG Awards ceremony, which will take place on the 4th of November at Geneva's Le Mans Theatre. The clock is ticking for the jury to decide who will win the Aiguille d'Or 2021.